Hey, it's Big Salty. The last video I think I put up, I'm pretty sure it was about the eshopps, the eclipse overflow, the shadow overflow, whatever the hell it was, and adjusting the water level. And my plan was to take a lot of videos and pictures and all that stuff of the build of, it was actually a 135, I thought it was 125, it's 24 inches tall, so it's a 135 gallon tank. I do have some videos. I got a crap load of pictures, everything. You know, it wound up being so much work. I really didn't have time to film as much stuff as I wanted to, but I will get some of those videos up as soon as I can. I have to really go look and see what I got on there. But so this was my 75, which is pretty much taken apart. Everything's been gutted. The lights are still there, and there's a few things under the stand, and I just got to move it out and get out of here. And so this is the 135. Let me see if I can get a better shot at this, because it's huge and it takes up the entire camera lens. You know, it's not finished yet. I have a lot of little stuff I have to do. I still have to build a canopy so you won't see the lights hanging. I'm waiting for my third light to come back. Jay Moore from Reef Republics in Southern California had hooked me up with these. They look like, you know, Chinese black buck LEDs, but they have a special coating on them that is resistant to salt, and they're actually some of the best lights I've ever seen. They look awesome. You know, I have to paint the stand and build covers for it and get the electric and stuff all up to, you know, the way that I want it to. But I want to get a video up. You know, it's done. I finished this on Sunday. I finished my regular job at about 3 o'clock, and I had already had the tank and the stand in here, and you know, everything underneath. And all I had to do when I came home was fill the water up. Well, I finished at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's a lot of water to put in there. I had to take all the rock out of that tank, transfer it to this tank. Get the water set up, make sure to test all the plumbing, which I'll show you all that. I did everything by myself. I built that stand by myself. I'll even show you how I did that. And I wound up having a leak from a couple of bulkheads. And that was a nightmare. And then by the time I got it filled and I had to get the fish out of there, acclimate them and, you know, jump them over. So it was all said and done by Sunday night. It was in, and then Monday I did a lot of, you know, stripping of the electric and stuff from the other thing and bringing over what I needed, and you know, a little at a time. It's going to take me a little while to get this thing to be perfect, but you know, let me show you some of the stuff. Like I said, those two lights are from Reef Republic, Southern California company, run by a guy Jay Moore. You know, I've only had them up for a couple of days, and my initial reaction when I, you know, just looked at the color from plugging it in, if you can, I know they're really bright, whatever. I didn't love that the blue channel had so many violets on them, but in the tank, they look amazing. You know, when the whites are down and the blue channel's on, they're spectacular looking. Very affordable light, and they're great. The app on them actually works very well so far, and I have the third light here, but so yeah, it's buried there under my MTV hat. I got to figure out how I'm going to hang that one because my AC vent's in the way, but I'll come up with something. And I don't have any corals in the middle that I really have to worry about, so right now I'm just using an old T5 fixture just to cover the light in the middle. So yeah, I mean, so this is the left side. I got this huge ass kind of islandy thing. I don't know what the hell you call it, but that big rock there, that's where the fish sleep at night mostly. They all hide behind that and get in and out, and you can get in and out a lot of this stuff here. And so now it's time to start throwing some corals and get some more fish in here. I took the two J-Bow RW8s or PP8s, whatever they're called now. I had 2 of them in the other tank. I added 2 more. I mean, that gives me plenty of flow. And I only have these on like the 3rd. I think it's the 3rd setting. I mean, that's more than enough flow for this tank. These things are awesome. I love them. Eshopps Eclipse Overflow. So this is funny. This is the first time I've ever set up a, dual, or actually I have 3 pipes. So this is the bean animal overflow, or whatever it is they're called. You literally cannot hear anything. The only sound of water you actually hear is the water trickling into the weir and dropping down. You cannot hear water going down that pipe whatsoever. You cannot hear the return pipe coming up. The returns are dead quiet. I'll get into that more in a minute. And this is the other section. I kind of made a cove, and I got a lot of sand. I got to move around, and the engineer Gobanies are kind of doing that for me right now. So that's the other little rock work there. There's some of the other guys hiding. It's a fox face. Guy's huge. There's plenty. But let me get to what's going on underneath the stand here. Here's the pipes coming down. That is the main with the gate valve on there. Those Spears gate valves. Those things are fantastic. I was able to get them on Marine Depot. Bulk Reef Supply sells them as well. Those are $50 valves, and the ball valves as well. They had them on sale for like 45% off. So I wound up paying 20 and change a pop for them. I don't know if they're still on there for that price, but I wound up getting a sick price on them. Basically half off. Those things are awesome. So yeah, like I said, that's the main coming down. That's the Durso pipe coming down, and I got my emergency here so that I'll hear it if it ever goes off. I went with the Trigger Systems Sapphire 39, I believe. It's 40 gallons of water in there. I had this Bubble Magus, the Curb 7, on my other tank, and this thing always did a good job for me. But the funny thing with this was I was never able to get under that damn stand to actually. I couldn't take the protein skimmer out. I could remove the cup right here and clean that out, but I was never able to clean the inside of this. So I spent a good hour taking this thing apart and brushing it down. And this thing actually had to break in like it was brand new again, because it hadn't been that clean since I put it in there. So the reason I wound up building this stand was because I wanted it. I wanted to be able to access everything under here. So I have the stand that would have came from it. You can see how tall they are, and everybody's owned one of these stands, and there's no room under there with the doors. I built this thing. Look at that. No center brace on the front. How awesome is that? There's nothing I can't access under here. And even the sides are open. I mean, I'm gonna cover them up and just make it so that if I ever need to, I can get in there. But I mean, everything on this tank can come apart. The plumbing all has unions on it everywhere. I built a manifold for it so that when I add reactors and all that kind of stuff later on, I can. Even the returns. Actually, I'll show you those real quick. They got union check valves in them on both sides, so I can literally take apart every last piece of the plumbing to service it or clean it, whatever needs to be done, which makes it a lot easier. What else? I don't have the refugium section set up yet. Obviously I don't need it this minute, but I'm going to do that. This return pump is awesome. It's Suntech. Hang on, I have the box. It's like a company made through another company. It's Aquamax, made by Sunpole, or it's Sunpole made. You know what I mean. This thing is a beast, man. This thing's capable of over 3,000 gallons a minute. It's, I think, 3,200 gallons an hour, or whatever that is. You know, I got that thing running on half of it right now. It's dead quiet. It's DC controllable. It's gorgeous. I got everything to match blue. That just happened to work out. I ordered the PVC from Bulk Reef Supply. I ran out, so I had to do some of it in white. And, you know, in the end, when it's all covered up, nobody's going to give two shits or really see it. But it was kind of more for me. You know, that's why originally I had chosen the sapphire sump. And then I saw a Marine Depot video with that actual return pump on there, which happened to be the right size that I need, and I said, screw it, let's color coordinate everything. So what else? You know, I need to finish getting this electric off the floor, because that's a no-no, but I'm kind of out of space right now, and the issue I've had with this is, you know, in this stand, I had everything, all my electric was here. I have a power strip on the top there that had individual switches that you could turn on and off, and everything else was mounted on this wall. This is a 6-foot wide stand. Well, it's slightly longer, but you know, the power from that side don't reach this side. So tomorrow I'm actually gonna build a board, and I gotta get some extension cords and whatever, and just to, you know, it's a no-no. You don't ever put electric on the floor with something that can get wet on it. It's asking for trouble. Knock on wood. That nothing happens until then, but I need to get that fixed. I got my the J-Ball Powerhead controllers are all up there. There's another one over there somewhere. Those are really cool pumps. If you own them, or you own multiples, you know that they actually talk to each other wirelessly. So this one up in the corner there, that guy, is the master pump, and the other three are slaves. What else? You know, I had to tinker with a lot of stuff. I'm still kind of trying to figure this out. I just changed the filter socks for the first time, because the water level in this, let's see, this is actually a splash guard, which is cool. I don't need the tray. There was like a coarse sponge filter on top of that, and the water level was above. You see that baffle right there? It was actually overflowing on the side of there, because it was all gunked up and couldn't get through. So that's pretty cool that it actually does that, because if they ever get, you know, plugged up before you're ready to change them, you can hear it. And now that my protein skimmer is broken in, it's actually skimming. You can see there, it's skimming real nice, skimming some real nice garbage out of there. So that's good. That's working now. I don't have to worry about that. I found the right height for this baffle's adjustable for the protein skimmer height. So I went with the high side, because in the manual the bubble magnus actually recommends 9 to 11 inches, which I think is kind of high for a protein skimmer, but that's what they recommend. I never had an issue with it being in deep water in my other one, but you know, so I raised this one up. Wanted, you know, obviously more water in the sump. As usual, I got Chemi Pure Blue, and let's see, there's 2 bags of Chemi Pure Blue and 2 bags of Aqua Vitro Phosphiltrum in there. And then I got my auto top off in there. What else? Oh yeah, the stand. If you're if you have any skills of being handy whatsoever, I recommend building your own stand. Don't get me wrong, the first one was it's kind of nerve-wracking, you know, because in the back of your head you're going, what if? Well, that thing is flimsy as a piece of crap, and that had no issue holding that tank and all the stuff in it. This tank, filled just with water alone, is, I want to say 13 13 or 1400 pounds. So I mean, with the sand and the rock and everything said, I mean, that's easily 2,000 pounds in there, on top of this. And what's cool is I built, and this has no issue. And if I would have built this stand from 2x4s, this would have been more than capable of holding this up. But I went nuts. I did the 2x6s. I used to be in construction, so it was easier for me to do it. But like, literally all you have to do is measure. There's so much stuff on the internet to show you how to do it. Just cut it and do it. You'll be fine. I was going to say, yeah, if I would have built it at 2x4s, I believe it would have been able to hold 18,000 pounds or 17,000 with the 2x6, and went with, because of the, I didn't want to have the center brace in the front, and I still could have done it with the 2x4, but I know for sure that this is fun, so I went with the 2x6s. It cost me $100 for a skill saw. But obviously you can buy one. If you have one, you can borrow one from somebody, or a chop saw would be better. But I didn't want to spend all that money on a chop saw. The skill saw I'll use for a lot of other things. And the wood together, I think I bought 10. Yeah, it was 10 lengths of 8-foot 2x6s. I needed that exact amount plus one more piece that was like 20 something inches. So I mean, literally it was 10 boards, and I had scraps and stuff. So 10 lengths. I mean, it cost me $100 to build a stand, and I'm happy that I did it, because I mean, look how much space I have under there. I'm gonna put a quarantine system under here. Maybe a 20-gallon tank, 10-gallon, whatever it is. But I have the room for it now. I got plenty of room to hang stuff up there if I need to. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh yeah, with the stand. So I built it, it's a 1/2 inch wider lengthwise on both sides, which is fun. But front to back, I built it the larger with the width on purpose. Because it's such a tall stand, I cannot get my arm up and over this tank and down to the bottom. So I got myself a ledge. I can stand on there. I can do whatever I got to do, which is kind of cool. Like I said, I still got a lot of other small things I have to do. I'll keep you posted from. If there's anything you want me to review, or things that questions you got. Like I said, I have other videos of from then until now, but I just wanted to kind of make something to update where I'm at now, and I guess I'll work my way back and kind of show you some stuff that I did as well. I have tons of pictures. I got to figure a way to, do a montage or a collage or whatever the hell you want to call it along the way, and I'll get as many videos up as I can, and I'll try and do one, every week to kind of show you the next thing I did, or, when I start adding more fish, and when I start getting corals in here, all that stuff. All right. I appreciate anybody watching. This is obviously my dream tank would be something that I could swim in. Never going to be able to afford something like that or have the place, but I mean, this is like a dream come true to me. I just want to come home every night and check this out. This is just so cool. I mean, the fish have like so much room to swim around now. All that rock was shoved in there and took up that whole tank. So I didn't add one extra piece of rock or anything. And that's, it's plenty for in there. I like that there's big open spaces in the middle. And they kind of have to go back and forth between their islands. Another thing I want to mention real quick, I'll do a review on it separately, I guess. If you haven't tried LRS, Reef Frenzy, I think it's Larry's whatever, LRS. That is hands down the best frozen food I've ever seen. It even blows away the PE mysis. I mean, there is PE mysis in it, but everyone knows all your fish love the PE mysis, but I've never seen them go crazy for it. the way that they do this. The LRS, if you check out Mr. Saltwater Tank TV's channel, he does an interview with the gentleman and his wife who own LRS. It's really interesting. I believe the guy's a retired cop, and they just started making like homemade fish food, and it's guaranteed to be like as fresh as possible. It's got like clams and mussels and all that stuff mixed in there with some, so it'll feed your corals, anything that you would have in a reef tank. It feeds carnivores, herbivores, everything. Where, the mysis, the shrimp itself, don't get me wrong, I love pea mysis, but it's, it's for carnivores, even though everyone eats it. But, this has everything that everybody needs in it, and it's very fresh. I'm blown away by that. That's all I can think of for right now. Alright, see you guys later.